I ran across your piece here in American Mind called Court Jesters, which I thought had an interesting angle because we've become so obsessed with being excited about anytime a liberal comedian says something nominally critical of the establishment narratives that we're supposed to be in awe and adoration of. But you kind of point out that that's not really necessarily a good thing when that's all we can get excited about. Would you unpack this article a little bit, Court Jesters?
Yeah, of course, because I was just seeing a lot of people, like you said, being very excited about the fact that not only did I think Dave Chappelle be a little bit more aggressive against kind of the trans phenomenon, but now Ricky Gervais has this whole special where he is very transphobic within the parameters set out by the regime. My argument is that this might be a good sign, but it is most probably actually just a sign of the regime kind of funneling the energies created by this the fact that this is such a ridiculous affront to reality that essentially the emperor is so naked and so visibly and like I said ridiculously obvious to everyone that these energies need to be funneled back into the mainstream. And what tells me that this is essentially a diversion rather than an actual confrontation of the phenomenon is that in the special itself, Ricky Gervais takes pains to say that trans rights are human rights, and to essentially make all the necessary, nods to the regime to say, okay, I actually do accept the premise of what trans activists are doing, but I do quibble with some of the extremists, some of the people that just go too far for my tastes or for the taste of the public. Because you can see, if there's like some grotesque man in a dress trying to do striptease in front of a I don't know 8-year-old, then your average person will be appalled by this. So this is the type of event that is perfect for comedy, and someone will exploit that, and there's a lot of energy to make fun of that. But the reality is that after the comedy special is done, and everyone's had their laughs, they're all going home, and they're still on the very steep, slippery slope that's been slipping for decades, and that we're all on. And there's not really any actual questioning of the core metaphysics here, because it's like, oh, if trans rights are human rights, well, okay, which of these trans rights are human rights? Because the problem that I have with trans is that it is essentially a metaphysical system that was imposed without any sort of questioning, without any sort of negotiation with the public. It was just brought here and said, okay, this is this is what it is. We even have science to back us. There's a lot of science backing the essentially this metaphysical claim that you can have this uncomfortable meat suit that needs modifications like it's a race car. This isn't a scientific claim. This is essentially a metaphysical claim, and it's been smuggled into the culture. And now what people like Gervais and Chappelle are doing are just like negotiating over some final details, but they're not actually questioning the core premise. Trans rights aren't human rights. This is a huge metaphysical claim that's not even begun to be discussed, and now we're like 100 yards down the road, and we're negotiating over what type of child needs hormone therapy. When do you get to have a mastectomy so that you can transform into your final form or whatever
Yeah, he said that
discourses.
statement, didn't he? He said trans rights. That's what he said.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he
So
was.
there's
That's like he was reciting the creed. He was like saying, "Look, I believe in one God, the Father Almighty, Maker of heaven and earth." But isn't it funny how that one idea about the Trinity is a little strange? I mean, how could Jesus possibly have counted the crystals on Saturn's rings while he was an infant in his mother's arm? That's basically what he was doing, right? you know.
exactly.